Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and we're going to get through to Gw-Pharma financials. This is part two series. The other series I have is with the Q&A for Gw-Pharma. So I'm going to upload that as well. So stay tuned. I'm your host, Compound Interest Stock Guy. And yeah, we're going to get through to this financials. If you're new to the channel, hey, don't be shy. Subscribe. I cover a lot of cannabis stocks as well as commodity stocks. I'd be doing the report cards and going into depth with these financials, looking at fundamentals and technical analysis, and just kind of getting ahead of the pack. And you know, so I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about. Buy or sell after you did your own research, due diligence, and you like the investments you're pursuing. Or speak with a financial advisor. Okay, so this hasn't came about, but the the companies are coming out with the IPOs for mushrooms in March. That MindMed Co. So you may want to keep a few dollars on hand when that IPOs. Just a thought. I mean, we'll see. If the price is right and the temperature and the climate of the sector just seems right. I mean, maybe they're priced too high, but I think it's gonna be hot. When it gets hot, it's gonna be hot. I'm talking like 5 baggers. I'm talking 10 bagger, potentially 15 bagger within like potentially like less than like 12 to like 24 months, I think. So it's just gonna be momentum, right? It's just medical kind of research right now, but things will change. Anyways, let's get to the financials. How many minutes are we in this? 2 minutes. Yeah, that's good. So let's get to Gw-Pharma. So for this is for December 31st for the quarter, the fourth quarter and full year. And 2019 was an exceptional and transformative year for GW, led by the successful launch of Epidiolex in the US and approval in Europe. The positive impact this medicine has had on thousands of patients and their family provides a compelling foundation for continued growth in 2020, said Justin Gover, GW CEO. We also expect 2020 to be an important year for our growing and developing product pipeline beyond Epidiolex as we build on our world leadership in cannabinoid science. We are focused on advancing nabiximols in the US and several indications and clinical programs with other potential products, whilst continuing to bring Epidiolex to more patents in the US and Europe. Okay, so the sales were 104.5 million for the fourth quarter. Now, a year from now in 2018, they did 6 million. So, very big growth in this year. You're talking like 17x that, and 296.4 for the whole year. So it's very nice revenues. Those are in US dollars, so very nice. You're talking like 135, 140 million in Canadian dollars, and then you're talking about like Aurora Cannabis doing 55 million. So just put that in perspective. These are some pretty freaking big numbers in the cannabis space. So 2020 focusing on broadening prescriber base, expanding payer coverage, entering long-term care segment, and expected launch of TSC indication. European launch underway. German commercial launch in Q4 2019 and secured positive NICE recommendation in the UK with commercial launch in Q1 2020. So commercial launches in France, Spain, and Italy expected later this year following pricing and reimbursement. So clinical progress with tuberculosis complex TSC SNDA filed with FDA earlier this month, and MAA submission to EMA expected in Q1 2020. Phase 3 trial in Rett syndrome recruiting severe new formulations of CBD, advancing into additional phase 1 studies in 2020, including modified oral solution and capsule. Improved intellectual property rights and exclusivity. In addition to orphan exclusivity, 9 granted patents listed in Orange Book and aligned directly with the Epidiolex FDA label with expiry dates to 2035. Epidiolex composition patent application recently published 2 new allowed patents broadly covering use in LGS and Dravet syndrome. Yeah, the Dravet syndrome's pretty big. additional patent applications under review, including patents related to the use of Epidiolex and TSC and other indications. So, and then pipeline progress, the nabeximols outside of U.S., multiple sclerosis spasticity, 3 positive phase 3 trials completed in Europe. U.S. pivotal clinical program expected to commence in Q2 2020 to augment existing data package. Spinal cord injury spasticity clinical program expected to commence in H2 2020. And PTSD, which is a post-traumatic stress disorder, clinical program expected to commence in H2 2020. Schizophrenia phase 2A trial published in phase 2B trial expected to commence in first quarter 2020. CBDV in autism. So that's a very interesting compound in the cannabinoids, CBDV. So I've never heard them talk about this before, so that's cool. 30 patient open label study in autism underway. Initial data expected in 2020. Investigator led 100 patient placebo controlled trial in autism underway. Open label study in Rett syndrome and seizures underway. Neonatal hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy intravenous CBD program. Phase 1B safety study in patients underway. Orphan drug and fast track designations granted from FDA and EMA. Total revenue for the quarter ended December 31st, 2019 was $109.1 million compared to $6.7 million for the quarter ended December 31st. So net loss was $24.9 million compared to $71.9 million for the quarter last year. And cash and equivalents on the books are $536.9 million versus $591.5 million. So a little under, like, it's like 55 million or so that they have less cash. And yeah, so the question and answer I'll be uploading, but we're just going to get into the cash and cash equivalents and stuff. So the assets on the books are 882 million. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing super crazy. They have a pretty big market cap, so I'm not advising to necessarily to buy. I do not own a position in Gw-Pharma. I'd recommend speaking with a financial advisor or doing your own research before investing in this company, but they are the biggest pharmaceutical cannabinoid company in the whole space. So that's just my words of advice. Total stockholder equity, 726 million. Total liabilities, 156 million. So yeah, total liabilities and stockholder equity, 882 million. So revenue was 109 million. So, and then total operating expenses were 129 million. So the loss from operations was 20 million. Okay. But I mean, if you look at it, it's not so bad because the revenues are only going to get bigger and the selling SG&A is not going to necessarily get that much bigger. Because, I mean, if they start doing like, say, like 160 million, 200 million very soon, which I could see happen in the next like 1 to 2 or 3 quarters, probably not next quarter, maybe like 125 million. I'm saying if they're like on the same kind of trajectory, but they're going to get to 200 million based on the growth that they're doing if they continue with that. So when you have that, it's not that bad that you got 78 million. But and then now if you take away the research and development, then they're pretty much like 24 million positive from the operation. So that's pretty good. And cost of product sales was super inexpensive, like 7.2 million. So all the cannabis companies, what they do is they'll do like the product sales and then they'll do the cost of products and that'll be their profit margin, right? So it'd be like, oh, well, there's like on this it would be like 102 million in profit margin, right? And then there'd be another line below that would have like the SG&A and research and development. So the way you look at this whole like thing isn't that bad at all. If this was on any other books like Aurora's book, the way they would do it is it would look so freaking fantastic. Like all the analysts would be like, oh my God, this is freaking incredible. So I'm just gonna like say my piece about that because the profit margins are pretty freaking sick, right? You're talking about 109 million and then 7.3 million. I mean, like you're in the 90% for profit margins. So I don't know a company in the whole space that's got 90% profit margins. Like, that's pretty freaking unbelievable. So yeah, that's what's up. And 7 cent EPS. So, and then they say the weighted average shares outstanding. Like, I don't understand their share structure. It's so confusing. It said 372 447, but that's like in thousands, because like the net loss, you times it by 1,000, so it's like 24 million, or the 109,000. But so that's like, says it's 372 million there, right? But I'm pretty sure somewhere down here. So his cash flows from operating down 9 million. Gain from sale of priority review voucher. Accounts receivable, inventory. So net cash used in operating activities 123 million. Yeah, I mean, their cash position is pretty good the way it is. So yeah, I mean, so, and then now here it says 28.2 million shares out and market cap 3.3 million. So it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. And on the chart, it's saying it's like $117. So yeah, anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope you gained a lot of insight about GW-Pharma's financials from my, my report. So stay tuned, keep watching, and thanks for watching. Keep compounding your info. Listen to my lingo. Shucka, capice. I'm out. Part 2 on the question and answers on GW Pharma. So some more intel.